Hallo, Steve. Was copy Dian? Maybe on the
Saber, you need to mute if you're on the phone.
Okay, you can mute or you can just stop your videos there. All right. Okay, let's continue.
Sorry, Professor, did you say you want the videos off?
Off your videos. Right? We don't need the videos, right?
Thank you for having you, doctor. You come back.
It's up to you.
It takes a lot of data, right?
All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's continue.
The data that streams is irrelevant of the amount of screens that are on.
Okay.
There's no connection with that.
That's okay, right? Am I? Something went wrong. Okay. Can you see a screen? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, we can.
All right. So we started what's research, who does research, what are methods, and what are steps involved. Okay, design. So design here, the methodology, how do you go about doing it? It can be either quantitative, qualitative, or mixed method. So we are doing this quantitative. Those chose qualitative, there'll be another group doing qualitative methods. But now the trend is combining these two, they call it mixed method, right? But we'll be doing only this quantitative research method. All right. So what is quantitative? It's based, the research is based on measurements of quantity or the amount, right? You see survey, example, you ask for people's opinion on a scale of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is very quantitative. If you do some analysis in the lab, example, volume of certain thing or mass of something is always quantitative, right? So this will be quantitative inquiry. So it involves several numbers. Whatever data we capture is in terms of numbers. Example, number of admission in a hospital, number of COVID cases, length of stay in a hospital, right? Or it can be the volume, the product volume, price of the product. So all these will be in terms of numbers. So some characteristics, numerical, non-descriptive, you're not asking again, why are you choosing certain numbers? Apply statistics and use numbers, right? It's an iterative process whereby evidence is evaluated. Results are often presented in tables and graphs, unlike qualitative studies. It's conclusive, right? Investigates this is important, the what and where and when of decision making. So look at that, there's no why. So why only comes from qualitative. The what, right? What is the productivity? Where, which particular place? When, which particular time? Is it during COVID or non-COVID time, right? Investigates this, the what, where, and when of decision making. On the other hand, qualitative research concerned with qualitative phenomena involving quality. Some characteristics that are non-numeric, right? Like what's your opinion about work from the house, work from home, right? Descriptive, they ask for no more detail. We say, yes, I prefer working from the home. You can ask in detail, why do you say so? Whereas in the quantitative, do you like working from home? Maybe I can use one or two, one and two. One is yes, two is no. I don't ask further questions why. Whereas here we are able to evaluate the person's opinion, positive or negative, and describe why the person says so, positively or negatively, right? So here applies reasoning. You tell and give reason why, right? How do you like working from the home? Yes, I like, and describe why. I don't like, describe why, using all words. There's no numbers here. The aim is getting the meaning, feeling, and describe the situation. More of a describing the situation. Qualitative data, and the graph is exploratory, explore, the particular phenomenon, whatever it is, explore. The basic difference is explore means there won't be any p-value. In quantitative study, we'll talk about more about p-value to make it more conclusive, right? The p-value will come in. Whereas exploratory, there's no p-value. Investigates are the why and the how, right? So basically, research involves what, where, when, and also why and how. So qualitative, the main interest is investigating the why and the how, right? Okay.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Like how you're saying is like qualitative cannot be graphed. Suppose if you're doing a survey
Yeah.
and if, based on the questions which you collect the information, that can be graphed, right?
Okay, this is quantitative using questionnaire survey. In qualitative, we don't use survey, it's more interview.
Yeah,
Focus
the
group.
data is from the interview. Suppose if I'm
Data from interview. So it's not conclusive. Of course, you can graph it and show, we can't say how many percent say that. Whereas in quantitative, we can say how many percent agree to that because denominator is there. Data collector 100 people, 20 agreed, then you can say 20% agree. Whereas qualitative, the denominator is not fixed. We keep on questioning until a theme emerges. So you can't graph it and say how many percent said yes, right? Because they don't have, right? Of course, again, say this is a priority area, number 1, number 2, number 3. You can't put a pie chart or bar chart, you can't.
yes.
All right. Is it okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Professor.
Yeah,
I have a
sure.
question.
Right.
My supervisor tell me the question of when we do the research object and research problem. So, which words we can use in the quantitative? I mean, if I use the qualitative research, so I mean the question must be use the words about why, some blah 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 like this one, and
Yeah.
how something like this one. So how about the which and the does? About these two words, which one we can use? The quantitative or the qualitative?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
This or this, right?
Yes.
The question is
That which and does something like these two words.
quantitative or qualitative. So now
Yes.
the trend is why not both? Mix it.
Which and does.
Mixed method.
Yes. Which methods?
Okay.
Mixed
This
methods.
better or this method better, right?
Yes.
I can't say this quantitative better than qualitative or vice versa. I can't say that. Each one.
So this is it's a both.
Yala, go ahead.
Each one has own benefits, right? And the weaknesses, right? So when in doubt, we rather go for mixed method. Right?
Mixed method.
Mixed method.
Oh, mixed method. Okay.
Mixed method, whereby mixing the qualitative and quantitative aspect of the research.
Okay.
So data, there'll be quantitative data, quantitative methods, methodologies, paradigm. Similarly, there will be qualitative. Most of the time in thesis, there'll be 2 chapters on the results.
Okay.
By doing only this, let's say chapter 4, results.
Okay.
Only this is a chapter 4, results. By doing this mixed method, there'll be 2 chapters. 1 chapter for quantitative, 1 chapter for qualitative.
Okay.
Right.
Professor, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. Say if you do the mixed method, right? So that means you see, when quantitative, you have your conceptual framework, right?
Right.
So if you're going to do both, that means do you do your concept? Is there a conceptual framework, or there is no conceptual framework?
You can still have a conceptual framework. Still qualitative, still can have, but very vague, because it's not based on theories.
All right.
Conceptual framework, most of the time, you start with a theory. So theory testing, right? Whereas qualitative, we don't start with a theory, but some or other we know this may have impact on this based on previous literature or whatever it is, very, very loose,
Okay.
right? So most of the time, this qualitative, now, any theories don't drop on the sky, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
what theory do you know? Any theory we all know? Theory of evolution. Theory of evolution. What does theory of evolution say? Anyone? Theory of evolution?
You mean Charles Darwin's theory
Charles
of
Darwin.
evolution?
Yes, right.
Or that we came from fish, I believe.
Okay. It came from single cell organism until the complex, right? How does he know that? How does he prove that? He also went somewhere, collected some data, which was not quantitative, that's qualitative. Now we call it grounded theory. From there, he developed the theory. But does everybody believe that the human being came from these single cells and evolved over the time? Do we all believe the same theory? Do we differ in our beliefs?
Differ.
Beliefs.
Differ. So which is right? There's no thing which is right, which is wrong. So what's theory? What's the difference theory and law? Theory of gravity or law of gravity?
Law of gravity.
Law of gravity, because the number is fixed 9.8 wherever you are, fixed. That's a law. Whereas theory, it seems to get similar results when tested again and again. Similar results, that's all. May not be ultimate truth. So happens sometimes we get similar results. Any other theory you all know of? Any other theories in the social sciences? Any other theories? Anyone? Theory of planned behavior, one of them, okay? Theory of planned behavior. It's very outdated theory, but still we are using it because every time you do a survey, collect data, use that particular framework, it seems to be getting similar results, seem to be, right? Even though after so many years. In a matter of time, it may not be true anymore. We don't know, right? So theory and law is fixed, there's no change. The theory, and tested again and again, seem to give similar results. So quantitative theory, research, is most of the time we start with a theory, right? But this quantitative theory didn't fall from the sky, must have started with something from the basics, qualitative. Like Charles Darwin went to the island, collected evidence from wherever he went. Evidence in the form of what? Did he have a research? Did he have a theory behind it? Nothing. He collected and formulated a theory. So qualitative research starting will be qualitative phenomena, which ultimately proven again and again may become quantitative in nature, right? Now the debate is this quantitative better or qualitative better? Then why not both? Mix it. There's a triangulation, right? Quantitative and qualitative. So these results could be more meaningful. Both methods have their own strengths and weaknesses. So in mixing both, they are able to get whatever information we need, which is much more stronger. A mono method can be improved, right? Quantity or quality are mono methods. A mixed method, at least we are two methods being used, right? Multi-method research. So we call methodological pluralism. And that's a trend now, right? Of course, lab work, right? Let's say example, vaccine. They've done the lab, basically just quantitative, how effectiveness is quantitative. They give let's say vaccine to 100 people, how many people are protected? Let's say 90%, 90 people are protected. Let's say 90% effect. Whereas how people what people think about the vaccine, right? That become qualitative. So vaccine and the people's opinion of vaccination, that's going to be mixed method. Question? All right. So
Professor, sorry, just one more question. I
Right.
think you mentioned earlier, that means when we do the chapters, that means you need to have one particular for qualitative and one for quantitative, is it?
methodology.
Yeah, methodology. So you need to have,
Methodology. You're going to tell the reader how I conducted the research, right?
sorry?
Methodology section.
Yes,
You're going to
yes.
tell the reader how you went about doing research, isn't it?
Yes, yes, that's right.
How did you go? Did you go quantitative? Okay, one chapter, I write as a chapter 3, from beginning to the end, my methodology.
All right.
If I do qualitative, same
Yeah.
thing. If I do mixed method, you're telling two different methods, right?
Yes.
They must tell how you went about quantitative methodology and how you went about qualitative, isn't it?
Yeah.
So two paradigms here mixed together.
All right.
So there must be two.
Okay, okay.
Otherwise, you don't know how you carried out your research. You can't simply call mixed method and go on. In the questionnaire, is a quantitative or qualitative questionnaire? We use a questionnaire.
Quantitative
Quantitative.
question. Yeah.
At the end of the questionnaire, we give some space, ask and write your comments. Does it become qualitative? There's no methodology. You describe this methodology, how the questionnaire was designed, how the questionnaire was tested, how the questionnaire was administered, what data was collected, how it was analyzed, isn't it? In the end, you give a space, comment. That does not become qualitative. You can't call it a mixed method because the qualitative method has its own methodology. So just giving a space end of a questionnaire to write your opinion, whatever it is, does not make it a qualitative study or mixed method. It is still quantitative methodology. You okay? Right.
Yeah, thank you.
So now the trend is going towards mixed method. Which is easy? Quantitative or qualitative method? Which is easier? Quantitative or qualitative?
Quantitative is easier for me.
Quantitative, enter all the data into some software, click some button, we get the results, right?
Yes.
Right. Whether you enter and click the button or I enter and click the button, we get the same results. Because software is one. Whereas here qualitative, right? There's a lot of subjective interpretation may come in. And it's not easy to interpret. It's not easy to evaluate. Because the same word, suppose I say, how did you do an exam? Good. Good. Another person will say, good. The same word, but how it's mentioned is different, isn't it? A person say, good. The three different kind of people are verbalizing same word. So they mean three different things. Whereas quantitative, we just ask a guy on a scale of 1 to 5, you mark 1, say marks 5. 5, for example, it strongly agrees. So there's no subjectivity. So there are advantages and disadvantages of both methods. How do you know which one to choose in the beginning? How do you know which one to choose for your research? Okay, that's why this is important. Choice of methodology, whether going to be quantitative or qualitative. Let's start from here, right? Literature review. Let's say search, I got 10 articles. Out of 10 articles, 8 articles did quantitatively. So I justify, do quantitatively. Out of 10 articles, 8 articles use quantitative method. Then maybe you can justify, I'm going to use quantitative method. The other way, only 2 of them use quantitative, then perhaps you should consider more qualitative. If it's like 50-50, then maybe should approach in a mixed method. So doing research, we're not going to reinvent any wheel. So step by step, this is a problem I want to solve, I want to research upon. Start with this first, and then decide which method you're going to use. Okay, thereafter, data collection, analyzing, all depends on the choice of the method. The choice of method, you can easily, when you go through literature, we know more or less which is most preferred method, right? So when the choice is 50-50, maybe you should try a mixed method. All right? Are we clear? Any questions? All right. This is a figure taken from mass diagram, the process. Okay. So here, just put some boxes to follow. Box 1 to 10, 1 to 12. This is basically for quantitative research. So where do you start? Number 1, observation. Number 2, preliminary data gathering. Number 3, problem statement. If for quantitative study, if you can completely do this as much complete as possible, that's already your chapter 1. These 3 boxes plus something add on, that's already chapter 1. So what's chapter 1? Identify the area of research. Preliminary data gathering. What information do you have to support that, whatever you observed? And then what's the problem statement? So introduction, background or preliminary data gathering, problem statement. So thereafter will come research questions, research objectives, significant study. So these 3 things are the main areas of chapter 1. So now we have stated the problem now. Later we'll go into this again. How to go about your research. And now comes your box number 2. So that will be your chapter 2. Chapter 2 is about your review. So that review will depend on what your observation area is, interest is, and what initial gathering said, and what is that, the gap you identified, and then go literature. So this is chapter 2 in your thesis. Chapter 3, okay, that's the methodology. So this methodology will be mostly derived from this literature. So nothing is yours. Only thing you may call yours is maybe this part, the area you decided, only this. Thereafter, what initial gathering says, and what problem can be solved, problem statement, and then literature. From this, you develop your chapter 3, which is methodology. So methodology, we can pick it up until here. So what do you talk about methodology? Right? Theoretical framework from all the variables identified, you may be able to draw a framework. And then from the framework, identify all the variables, definition of variables and all this. Based on theoretical framework, you can generate a hypothesis. And then there's a design. So this quantitative design, and what is your sampling, how you going to take the sample, all the things from your design. Design goes wrong, how good a data, doesn't matter, whole things out. The design, very, very important. So chapter 3, we include all this 5, 6, 7, 8, very, very important. Of of course, it'll tell how the data will be analyzed as well in chapter 3. So in chapter 4, you're going to have data analysis and test whether the hypotheses are substantiated. So just chapter 4. And finally, chapter 5, discussion 5 or 6. So she has planned it out very well. And look at it again and again. That's all your thesis is all about. Right? So chapter 1. This is just chapter 1. How long will it take to finish chapter 1? How long will it take to finish chapter 1? Anyone respond?
Can you repeat the question, Doctor?
How long does it take to complete chapter 1 in your thesis? Chapter 1, which consists of introduction to area of interest, background, problem statement, and just few other things. How long will it take to complete this?
1.5 to 2 months.
1 year?
1 year?
Is it 1 year?
1 year.
Yes.
1 year, then you don't.
1.5 to 2 months.
Should take only 1 week, the maximum.
1 week.
1 week. Why?
Too short. Why?
You do 1 year, within 1 year, it loses interest.
Sir, is it including our reading for literature review, meaning
Yeah.
we need to identify
first-
our theoretical gap, right?
First 3 chapters, 1 year.
I didn't say all. Preliminary data gathering, I show afterwards. Preliminary data gathering. Just little bit. To show that this area of interest is relevant. Right? Maybe 5 articles. I'm not asking all the 5 articles. To justify this area is need to be evaluated, studied. Then what's the problem here? That's assignment number 1, okay?
5 article. Maybe it's the
5 articles only. 5 articles only.
Doctor, I used to see videos and YouTube mention that you need more than 1 week. And you need to engage in the literature to find the gap and the theoretical framework or research questions.
No, I didn't go to theoretical framework. Theoretical framework is somewhere here. I didn't go there.
And I might ask you how many hours do you need? 1 week is
3 hours a day. 3 hours a day.
And the output, how many pages will be in after 1 week? After 1 week?
Output also I can give a sample. Just fill it up. I give you spaces, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. It's only about 5 pages. I can give you a template.
Please,
Just
please.
fill the blanks.
I'm waiting for that template. Doctor.
Right. But first, do you think 1 week it can be done? Challenge.
It is a challenge, yes.
I'm not asking the final chapter 1, initial draft, isn't it? You can't write this within 1 week, then this is not your area of research. Drop it, do something else. No point stretching this for 1 year. By 1 year, I think you get bored with this topic. You may lose interest. Actually, how long?
Sir, excuse me, sir. I just would like to ask for normal PhD. I'm not asking for this assignment of your subject.
Right.
I mean for normal PhD. Normally, how long will it take for us to identify our theoretical gap for our research in normally?
Normal PhD, not more than 2 years. Do you agree? Normal
Yes, I agree, sir.
Should not be more than 2 years. I'll tell you how.
Should not more than 2 years.
Not
Yes.
more than. And then
Thank you.
I'll come down. Should not be more than 1 year. The PhD should not be more than 1 year, especially business, education. Why? What you do today, next year is different, right? Isn't it?
Doctor, I'm confused.
Yes.
Doctor, I'm confused actually.
As what?
We need one week to write what?
1 week to write draft of chapter 1. Draft of chapter 1. Draft. Okay?
Yeah.
Sir, meaning in 1 week we can identify our interest of research area only, right? It's not about theoretical gap or anything.
Later go in, okay?
Yes.
Interest area you already have now, right?
Yes.
What's your interest area? Who's talking? What's your interest area?
My research interest area is about employees' resilience during COVID-19.
Right, employee resilience, that's all interest.
Yes.
You have this, right?
Yes, I have it.
You have this, employee resilience. Number 2, what's employee resilience? What people talk about employee resilience?
Yes.
What study been done? What has been connected to data gathering? Number 3, so what is the problem? Is it the first time you're doing employee resilience? Is it the first time you are doing?
Yes, this is my first time.
But people have done before, right?
Yes, people done before.
So what is the gap? That's a problem.
Yes.
Ask you only 1, 2, 3. I'll let us show you how to do it. 1, 2, 3.
Yes, thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm clear now.
Okay, finished.
Okay.
Who is still doing? Please raise your please hit the raise hand button. Is anyone still doing? No?
Okay.
No one is doing. Okay, one person, Xingyuan. Okay, so I give you another 2 minutes. 2 minutes, yeah?
Yeah, who's talking? If someone is talking in the class. Some other class, I think. Okay, now do you agree 1 week is enough? I'm not asking the full-blown chapter 1, a draft. I'll give a template also, just fill it in.
The chapter 1, we can also work on our own project, you know, the theme what you are doing.
Yes, your own project.
Okay.
Project. I say, what is your area of research? She said, that's not what he said, your area of research? Employee resilience.
Correct.
Then I take you from here. What is employee resilience? What evidence now people are, what research they're doing? Just 5 articles, recent articles.
We can have more than 5.
It's okay. I'm telling only 5 minimum.
Okay, minimum.
From there we know. So what's the problem? Right? From your experience, from what you read, you know what's the problem.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
This Anne here. I just, like, it's easy for us to come up with something that we're passionate about and,
yes.
The problem and all that.
Right.
But when we are presenting this to our lecturers, our supervisor, they may think otherwise and they might tell us to go back, and that would take up the time that would be longer than just that 1 week.
Right.
What's your comment on that?
Okay. Within 1 week, this is ready. You send a supervisor. Supervisor say, no, this is not worth PhD. Then what do you do? Drop it. Take another one, right?
Right.
We can do first one in 1 week, employee resilience.
Right.
There, your supervisor say, no, this is not a good area. Okay, let's try employee engagement. Area, right? But you didn't know what to do, right?
Yes.
Employee engagement, you already there. And your supervisor said that was not good. Employee retention, employee satisfaction. Just employee alone, right?
Yes.
Your main area is about employee. So what about employee? Is it resilience? Is it engagement? Is it satisfaction? Is it retention? The format is the same, right? Or you can do 5 and give supervisor, choose which one you want. Yes? Okay. Already. You do one.
Okay, noted.
We can do. Now, once this accepted, and then go into this more detail. How long will this take? I know students are struggling doing PhD. Now, anybody force you to do PhD? Anybody force you to do PhD? Anybody?
No, no one's forcing us.
It's your own will, right? You must enjoy doing it. You are struggling doing PhD, something wrong somewhere. You should not struggle to PhD, especially at this time. Everything fingertips. The teacher just click, 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 whole thing comes out, right? Sometimes you're lucky, even thesis will come out. So one thesis come out, what's next? Just follow exactly. This was done in US. It may not be same in Malaysia or elsewhere. Let's see how it works here. That's already a initiation. How long will this take to review the literature? Okay, let's say I take 200 articles. How long does it take to review the articles?
4 weeks.
200 articles. I won't review everything. I just review the abstract, what they're talking about there, whether A connected to B or not. I feel that employee resilience, employee engagement connected, let's say now. This literature, most of them say yes, yes, yes. Also assume, okay, yes, let's test it out. This should not take more than a month. Agree? That's not exactly what I want.
It can be tricky finding the right literature. Therefore, it could take longer.
Okay, longer. 2 months?
Okay.
2 months, okay. How long already now? 1 week plus 2 months. If I give 3 months, okay? 3 months done. 3 months. Reasonable? Reasonable 3 months?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Chapter 2, done. Okay, chapter 2 done. How long will it take to do chapter 3? Theoretical framework, variables, generate hypothesis, research data design, data collection method. How long will it take?
2 months.
Yeah. It's all how you're going to do it. That's all. You're not collecting data yet. Data collection method, how you're going to collect data. If you've done this literature thoroughly, you're not going to reinvent anything from 5, 6, 7, 8. Get whatever information, just complete this. Will take 1 week.
Maybe 6 months.
This one 6 months.
No.
Yeah.
You've gone through literature. Literature tells you what to do. This literature,
yes.
100 people will
1
tell
month.
you what to do.
Uh-huh.
You're going to tell how you are going to do. 100 people told you what to do. Here, you're going to tell how you want to do it. Just follow from here. Nothing extra. Just follow exactly how similar study was done and published in literature. You're not going to reinvent the wheel. Even sometimes the questionnaire will be obtained from here. Framework will come from here, you modify it. Once this is done, all these are straightforward. Design is quantitative. Next is sampling, how are you going to take the sample? How the data will be collected. If this is done within 2 months thoroughly, at the same time, we'll be evaluating this. Not we do only this, then come back to this. Same time. So I give you maximum 6 months. Maximum 6 months. So which is most difficult? Maximum 6 months. If you go beyond 6 months, something serious is wrong, just give up. Right?
Yes.
So what could be difficult is, or time, is the data collection itself. Data collection may take long time, right? Data collection, right? Suppose it's survey, and now even better. Now all we have the Google form. Don't leave the house also. Well, last time collecting data, people go physically, let's say school by school, go and collect data. But now what do? Put all Google form and just send through email, WhatsApp, data is collected. Once that we collected data, among 7 ASEAN countries during COVID among students within 6 months without leaving our house, right? And managed to publish about 7 articles already, all within 6 months. Data collection, I'll say that's difficult. Lab work, right? The reagents may not be available, sample may not be available, right? Specimen may not be available. Okay, that's one thing. But data collection using survey now, I mean, whatever method, even though we still question the method, but that's the only way to do it. During COVID time, how to collect data is the only way. That makes some time. How long do you think it will take? 6 months?
More than.
More than 6 months.
I mean, data collection, because it depends upon your...
The data collection goes more than 6 months. Remember, once the data is collected, it's already history. It may not repeat.
When there is kind of observation and all that involved in it.
Observation. When I say observation is going to be qualitative. If it's qualitative, we don't need that big number. Again, that should not be very, okay, now mind, say certain areas maybe understand qualitative or observation may take a long time. But surveys, using questionnaire.
Of course, fast.
Not more than 3 months. Anything come beyond 3 months could be outdated. Even COVID time. We asked the same question during the peak of the pandemic. Now, 6 months from now, the answers will be different. So don't collect data for 6 months for what? What are we capturing? We're not capturing the particular time that we wanted to evaluate something. Okay? So, how long do you, now I give 6 months. How much already time? How long already now into the research now? Just now I gave you 3 months. Then I gave you 1 week. I give you, okay, 3 months. 6 months? Survey, using a survey, 6 months? Reasonable, 6 months? Class?
Yes.
Yeah.
This one how long?
Doctor, can I answer you, sir?
Sure.
Actually, problem statement, you said 1 week, literature review and other things. So, but for, as a student, how we validate that? We validate that with the supervisor or with research environment. So maybe it takes more time to get really in the right track and the right path. So for example, in the reviewing sections, sometimes it takes 1 year just to get accepted, finally accepted in good journals. I can cite an example of the journals for that.
Right.
But like, I don't know. So yeah, I get confused here in this section, you know.
Even after this, once you're done these 3 plus a bit more, once you're done this, you can also write an article, right? Is that right? Protocol paper? Can write a protocol paper, right? What the protocol says, what is the area of interest, what's the problem, and what literature says, and how, what framework you're using, what hypothesis needs to be tested, what design. You complete this, you can also publish one article on protocol. Publishing a protocol.
Actually, okay. Yeah. Yes, we need to validate what's our thought, you know, we need to share our thought.
Yes.
Otherwise, like the idea in my mind, it's worked and it's
exactly.
It's worth it in my mind, yeah. But because I'm still baby scholar, you know, I'm baby in this field. Yeah. Someone is like ahead of you, like 30 years, 40 years. So we cannot compare like this one. So a learning stage here has also experience. So the experience, someone is in good monitoring place, you can let in you directly within 1 week, maybe you can find it. But someone, his bad luck, maybe he gonna spend a lot of time for quantifying his gap and validating the things, and especially if he's diving in the ocean of knowledge and everything is keep updating, keep reading, so he got lost sometimes.
Okay, who is the someone? Whom do you think that someone is? Who, your supervisor?
Sorry?
Just now I say we need someone to tell you what to do, right? Just now I mentioned.
Correct.
Right.
Correct, yeah.
Whom do you think that someone is? Is it a supervisor?
You can say supervisor or co-author or team members.
Okay. Supervisor, does supervisor know everything?
Of course not.
Supervisor knows everything?
Of course not.
Of course not.
We are human after all. Of course not.
And why rely on your supervisor?
I'm not relying on him. We don't rely. We need to share respect for the supervisor.
I'll answer this later.
To get the point, you know.
Right. So hold on the question. I'll answer this later. Okay. I'll answer you later.
Appreciate it, doctor. Okay. Appreciate it. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
If you go on this for months and months, you'll never finish. Right? I have one student. He didn't know where to go. Now, it's not my student. He was orphaned by some other, the person left the university, so I take over. So within 6 months, she already collected data already. And the day we analyzed already 6 months. So first, she published this protocol. How is she going to do it? When I publish the protocol, it goes through at least one editor and 2 reviewers, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Correct. Yes, correct. Yeah.
So they would have commented whether your method is good or not, right? Your supervisor, only one person. Let us here one editor and at least 2 reviewers have seen your work and been published and read by others. That means your method is good. Your methodology is good. Can sell, go ahead. She finished this within 3 months. And then she collected data another 3 months. So roughly 6 months, she collected this until here. This among cancer. Cancer compared data collected hospital. Data is there, collected, that's all. Of course, approval, this thing must be done, right? Everything fell well, she finished it. Now, data analysis. How long will it take to analyze the data? Data analysis. How long will it take to analyze the data? How long?
Not longer, actually, to analyze. Not much, actually.
Should be 3 months.
To analyze and observe. Yeah.
1 day.
Yeah, not much, actually.
1 day. You know exactly what to do, just 1 day. And most of the time, help is available in this area. But we'll be teaching some of the methods can be used for data analysis, not everything, but at least we know something. Never mind, I give 1 week maximum. How long already now? 6 months plus 1 week. After that, writing your discussion, right? Writing this part. And that may take a while because you must compare what you got with your literature. You must form triangulation between this and this. See, you started here gathering problem statement, then the literature. And all these mimic the literature. Collect the data. Okay, I give 3 months for this. Analyze it. Then I give 1 week for this. Now discussion, what you found and what it was in the literature. And see whether justify your gaps. That's all.
But Professor, what about the experimental researchers.
Okay, experimental research, there's no framework. Let's say lab experiments, right? There's no hypothesis, right? Lab experiments, again, depends. How long does it take to complete the, right? It could be even shorter. We don't need months and months for the whole thing because don't have the framework.
Yeah, but it's like the experiments, the failures and all that, it's like that is also will be recorded. And then the new values, we have to work on that experiment.
Right. So this part, data collection, lab work, lab experiment, right?
Yes.
That can be shortcomings also. Lab experiment, you know, the reagents, you have the sample, specimen, possible, right?
Yes.
If everything works well, can I give 3 months lab work? 3 months?
3 months.
3 months.
Or more. Yeah.
Okay. Give 6 months, okay? 6 months.
Okay.
6 months. So 6 plus 6, only 12 months, right?
Yeah.
This part, only 6 months.
Yes.
12 months. Data analysis, I'll give 1 month, okay? It's too much.
Okay.
Then you're going to write the discussion. This discussion and also connect to the problems and see whether what he thought is justified.
Okay.
This part must give more thought, right? Here I'll give it 3 months discussion. My writer wants into this literature, you know, roughly how this is going to be. Data comes in, you're going to replace it, that's all. I have a template for all this, just fill it up. So all in all, your PhD should be within 1 year, right?
1.5.
Okay, 1.5, okay. 1.5, yeah. I'll give 2 months, okay? Take a break in between, go for holiday. A PhD currently should not be more than 2 years, especially for social sciences, business, education. Why? Things are changing so fast. Once you go in, you're going here, or this area of research, by the time you come back here, things will have changed. Remember the education, teaching system, right? Which method to use? Teach. Suddenly came here, COVID. I can't use the method anymore. That's a new norm. No more face-to-face. But we talk about face-to-face so much, what method to use, engagement, this and that. Now nothing will work. And what about the research? Totally outdated. The research more than 2 years, the results are outdated. We have tried. Students took a batch of 13 students. 11 students finished 2.5 years with publications. Publication, we're now asking for high-end publications, right? Even just now I said the protocol paper was not a high-end protocol journal. At least a third party has seen your research. So when you go for your candidature defense, right? Nobody question this method, is it valid or not? It's been validated by others, justified by others, right? Others meaning the journal is sent to, they are the relevant people, right? The journal you send to. You're not sending to any other journal, okay? If it is biology, something related to that, business related, at least third parties have seen. That's what's important. End of the day, after your PhD, what happens? After your PhD completed, thesis done, what happens? Anything happens? You made recommendations. Anything happens after that?
Publication, if possible.
Say again?
Publication.
Okay. About 90% or 99% of the time, nothing happens. The last day I saw my thesis was the day I submitted. After that, I never want to look at it. Guess why? By the time you finish, you go through this process, you finish. You started here, let's say within 3 years or 2 years. By the time I come here, things are different here. but you have a document called thesis. You can all of us start again and do one more if you want to. That's why people say nothing else to do. I do PhD and I do one more.
Right? Very interesting indeed, Doctor.
It's only the training you undergo. I still until now, you don't know where my thesis is. I don't know. Because in the process, you will learn so much. Because we started here, our supervisor agreed to this. When you go through this, every day we are reading. Not only here, okay? Until here, still reading literature. By the time I come here, the new methods. Right? New methods available. Times are different. But given another choice, you should be able to do it without any difficulty. That's what PhD is all about. Right? 99% of the time, nothing happens based on your research. But it's academic exercise. All of us go through this step by step. That's why I like this framework. Most of the time, it covers the entire thing. It's called the research process. Right? So after this, we'll follow each box. What goes into each box? Then I send you the template, how you can use it for your own research. Questions? Okay.
Doctor, you will send us the template to fill, and that template has titles and subtitles that goes with Taylor University requirement.
No, it's mine. It's not Taylor's, it's mine. Now here, remember, what I'm teaching is my experience and how I like to go about doing it. Your supervisor may differ in opinion, okay? I don't want to clash it. All right.
Okay, Doctor, thank you.
From there, you improvise, make it your own. Then also, the template is not mine. I got it from somewhere. So I will share with you because I know it works. All right? Okay. So next, we're going to go each box one by one and see what goes into the boxes. How do you complete the boxes and how you complete the thesis. Questions? Is there a question you have?
Doctor, you said that literature review need 1 week. However, what I know, I think that the literature review and writing, engaging with the literature review is ongoing process, as you said.
Of course, ongoing process. But I'm asking you, take only 5 literature to complete until here, number 3. Only 5 to complete until here. Later, you continue and add on, okay? To start the 1 week, 5 articles. After that, you add on, things will change. After 5 articles, things will change here. The way you think the problem will change. Because why? Latest literature will tell you, you may not be the same anymore. Times are changing and your thought process will change. So as things changing, I'm taking 5 literature now. By the end of my study, we have to look at 250 articles. More information will come in. The more information come in, your chapter 1 will evolve. What I'm talking about, only a draft. What's the last chapter we written? Which chapter should be written last? Which chapter should be written the last?
The first chapter, I think, with the introduction.
Yes, chapter 1.
Me too. I like introduction is the last one.
Yeah, chapter 1. The day you finish all the analysis, your result something else. But latest literature says otherwise, yes, your results correct in line, then this is going to change. So last chapter to be completed will be chapter 1. But we are starting a draft of chapter 1. This will tell you how to proceed from here. Without this, how to proceed? You go and read this, nothing happens. Keep on reading literature, nothing happens. You must be able to connect this. Connect to my area of interest, Right? I'm not asking, okay, 1 week, write the chapter 1, finish it. No. only a draft. Is there a common problem you have? Look at the slide, look at the screen. What does the screen say? Hello?
Where do we start?
Where do you
Where
start? Is this a problem you have? Do you have this problem?
Yes, we do.
Where do you start? Right? So where do you start? Observation and area of detection. You're talking about the first box, this box here. Right? Unless clear cut, crystal clear, you know this, you can't proceed. Most of the time, the students just take an area, just think they can bulldoze through. Or they take the area of study given by the supervisor, which may not be their interest, and they struggle. So even though it has been discussed, communicated, and accepted both party between the supervisor and the student, the area must be, the student must be interested in the area. Otherwise, don't take it up. Not because supervisor say, okay, let's do this area, okay, let's do. Because why? You think supervisor knows everything? Supervisor doesn't know much. At one time, supervising 20 masters and PhD students. Do you think I know who is who? Right? Along the process of your PhD or masters, who must know better, you or your supervisor? Who must know? You.
Me, yes.
I tell them, okay, come tell me, what's your research about? Tell me. Sometimes I ask, who are you? What do you want to know? Who you want to see? No, sir, I'm your student. Oh, student, come, tell me what. I can't be remembering all your research. Right? So when you say the flow is not there, send them back, okay? Go and do this area and come back. Why? All this not clearly done. Once you do this and go into this, I think nobody can stop you. Most of the time, students are doing this again and again and again without thinking what they're doing. Right? Okay, that's my perspective, okay? Different supervisors may think differently.
Doctor.
Yeah.
May I ask you a question out of the box, please?
Yeah, sure.
After this, actually, this wonderful and interesting introduction, so what is your best advice for us as a PhD scholar is as hands-on experience? I believe in hands-on experience, as you say, is engaging or reading or start writing from after 5 articles, because what I know that we need to read, then start writing.
Okay, 5 articles, start writing. 5 articles, start writing. Right? And then go more and more, you revise it. You revise, don't write 250 articles, sit down, read and read and read. Go nowhere. Take recent articles. Let's say published 2018, 19, 20. 5 articles. Read and gather information. So 5 recent articles. These 5 recent articles, they would have quoted previous articles, right? The 5 recent articles, they would have based on previous studies, right?
Yeah, but doctor, I became confused. I need to read more article to find the gap that I wanted to fill.
All right, the gap to fill, right? But
yeah.
5 or 6 recent articles will be more relevant, right? 5 or 6 recent articles more relevant, isn't it?
Yeah, it means that you need to know which article that you will choose.
Okay. Let's say now after 5 articles, I wrote this, but you're not happy. Go and search some more and amend this.
Yeah.
At least there's something laid out, isn't it? Something already there. Now go read some more and then improve it. I'm not telling that's the final one. After reading 5 articles, let's say now, more or less, you have this part, right? That's not the final. As you read this, you make more changes.
Yeah, I
More
agree.
changes, this area will develop. Right? The framework will change. But where to start? Question is, where do you start? Start this area first. With what? Minimum 5. It's only a starting point. I'm not telling after 5, stop this, go ahead with this. No. Continue. The way you did the 5, you continue. 5 become 10, 20, 40, right? After about 40, 50, you feel that nothing new is coming, maybe. Right? So initial articles are very important. You do the search, very fine-tune that area that you are interested in. Right?
Yes, doctor. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So where do you start? So box number 1. We're going to talk about this. Remember, this must be close to your heart. Teaching methodology, let's say teaching mathematics. That's very important to you. That must be teaching mathematics, not any subject. Education general or a very specific subject, that must be very close to your heart. Right. Now, I always ask my students, take a piece of paper, draw a circle. Do you have paper with you? Do you have paper and pencil with you?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Okay, take the paper, pencil, draw a circle like this. The circle I've drawn here, draw a circle. Just draw a circle. Next, inside the circle, write your area of interest. Area of interest. Okay, what's the area of interest? Anybody want to share? That's the area you want to research on?
The perspective of hotel manager regarding adaptation of artificial intelligence in their properties.
Okay, I want maximum 2 words. Maximum 2 words. Can you try again? Maximum.
Define the scope.
Yeah.
Define the scope. The scope.
Scope what? Scope of?
The area of interest is the scope.
No, it's not a scope. Area of interest. I'll give an example. Right. Area of interest is, where is it? Okay. My area of interest for this particular depression. That's my area of interest. Depression. Right? It's not scope, it's an area of interest. It can be employee, employee what? Resilience. Just now we say employee resilience?
Yes, sir.
Right, employee resilience. That's all. Maximum 2 words. Look at the paper again. Inside a circle, write maximum 2 words. Anybody want to share?
I would like to share, Professor.
Yeah.
Chatbots and behavior.
Chatbot. Chat is it?
Chat, C-H-A-T. Chatbots, B-O-T-S. Yeah.
Okay. Chatbox.
Bot, B-O-T.
B-O-T and?
Behavior.
Behavior. Behavior what?
Consumer behavior.
Consumer behavior, right.
So chatbot is actually one word.
Actually, yours is what? Consumer behavior, right?
It's actually on AI. Chatbots, the chatbots that come up whenever you go and surf the websites and everything.
All right.
So about them and consumer behavior.
But basically, your interest is consumer behavior.
Yeah, that's right.
How
Okay.
the consumer behave.
Okay.
So your interest is consumer behavior.
Okay.
There are so many ways. Now talking about the check box onto this, right? But yours is basically consumer behavior.
Behavior. Okay.
Right. Next, what is consumer behavior? What's the definition of consumer behavior? What's consumer behavior? Go to Google. Don't give your own definition. Go to Google and type there, what is consumer behavior? All with others are same. Write your area and go to Google and search what is consumer behavior. Okay. So what's consumer behavior definition?
Is the study of how individual customers, groups, or organizations select, buy, use, and dispose ideas, goods, and services to satisfy their needs and wants.
Okay, let's try again. Let's say again.
Sorry. The study of how individual customers, or organizations select, buy,
okay, buy,
use and dispose ideas, goods and services to satisfy their needs and wants. Satisfy their needs and wants.
Now, why are we doing this? We don't want you to give your own definition because it's very important. Okay, look at the keywords. It's actually looking for keywords. So what are keywords? So what are keywords here? Customers, organization. So that is your entity. Sometimes I call it the population. Select, buy, use, and dispose. How they select, how they buy, how they use it, and how they dispose it. Right? What? Dispose, ideas, goods, and services. For what? To satisfy their needs and wants. See, all the keywords, you're going to use a questionnaire, right? You're studying questionnaire.
Yeah.
So your questionnaire will contain, or the constructs in question will be selection, purchase, use, dispose. Right? This is the main thing, right?
Yep.
It can be ideas, it can be goods, it can be services. So your main central core is selection, buying, using, and disposing. With customers, you may say goods. Organization, you may say services. So what kind of customers and organizations? What kind of customers and organizations are involved?
For my research?
Yeah.
I'm looking at those from the airline industry.
Airline industry. It's a very specific airline industry. That's your population.
Yeah.
So how individual customers, once your customers, you're going to define which customer you're talking about. See, by defining this, you're getting so much information how you go about doing this, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right? So here, my definition is depression just now, depression. See, depression is common and serious medical illness that negatively affect how you feel, think, and act. This by APA. Right? So I know my construct in my questionnaire, I must have items of questions dealing with feeling, thinking, thoughts, and also acting. So my questionnaire, the area, my design of the items will be around this. Next question is how to measure feeling, how to measure thinking, how to measure acting. I look for questionnaires. I won't develop my own questionnaire. I tell my students, never ever develop your own questionnaire. That's where literature comes in. The literature will tell you how to measure these variables. So what are the variables here? The variables are feeling, thinking, and acting. Among whom? Among people who are depressed. So I go and search now how to measure depression. I know the definition, how to measure it. So you're talking about consumer behavior. So what's consumer behavior? How customers, organization, can be either one or both as a can, select, buy, use, and dispose. Right? In order to satisfy their needs. Is it important? You may have all this. Is it possible it's not satisfactory to the needs? Right? Needs and wants. Why is it different? The needs and wants may differ from person to person, right? So these are keywords. So able to develop or adapt questionnaires that measures exactly something similar to this. So yours will be, interest will be consumer behavior, population will be in those involved in airline industry. So are we talking passengers? Are we talking passengers?
Yes, Professor, all those passengers who have dealt with chatbots.
Right, now specifically passengers. Passengers who use
chatbots.
So very specific. Does it include those who did not use a chatbot?
I have not ventured into that yet.
No, but only those using it.
Yeah.
Only those using it. How they select, how they buy, use, and dispose. So now the consumer behavior of whom? These airline passengers. Right? In what? In selecting, buying, using, and disposing. Does the title evolve from here?
Yes.
Behavior of passengers who use chat box, right?
Yeah.
Right? Or is the lengthy one, selection, purchase, use, and disposal of ideas, goods, and services among these people, isn't it?
Yes.
So title evolves from the definition itself, right?
Yeah.
Right. Just now I talk about my area was depression among, depression among dialysis patients. I define what's depression. So based on this, I must have an instrument or questionnaire to measure how they feel, how they think, how they act. Who? The dialysis patients. So my title evolved, depression among patients undergoing hemodialysis. There's no point having a title first, then looking for things. Is this area important? Depression among dialysis patients, is it important? Is it important? Dialysis patients, are they tend to be more depressive? Normally patients, are they more depressive? Question, patients.
Yes.
Are they more liable for depression?
Yes.
Why? Because the things they used to do, they can't do anymore, right? A lot of reasons. So later we'll see what are the reasons, possible reasons, right? How does it differ in terms of all the three things here? So without this definition, very clear, don't give your own definition, right? Let's not ask you Google it. So you Google this, but there could be better definitions when we look at the file literature. Here I took it from APA, therefore this valid. Is it valid? It's questionable. Then I cite it. wherever you got it from, let's say CPA, you cite it, right? So you got one citation here. Definition alone. Sometimes there could be few definitions in different literature articles. They may be on different population. So you can take all the definitions, A defined this way, B defined this way, C defined this way. In our study, we define, can be either one of them or combination. That becomes very specific for your target population. So where do you start is very important. And that's the area, your own area of interest, not someone else's. Right? So write, talk, discuss more on this. If you don't do this as much as possible, you're in trouble. Voicing definition. What's the definition? Go and find out what's the area of interest and then which population. Her area of interest is consumer behavior among airline passengers. Just now, employee resilient. Who is this? Employee resilient?
Yes, sir.
Okay, employee resilience.
Yes.
Which target population? Any particular sector or general?
Employee in hotels industry.
Right. Particularly hotel industry.
Yes.
Then we know this will differ from the other sections, right? Other sectors, right?
Yes.
Right. Industry will be different. Resilience, right?
Yes.
But before that. So what's the employee resilience?
Is the capacity of employees that positively cope, adapt, and even thrive in a dynamic and challenging environment.
Now look at the definitions, okay? Keywords.
Yes, keywords. That capacity of employees.
Employees.
Yes. Cope, C-O-P, cope,
yeah.
Adapt,
and
thrive, T-H-R-I-V-E.
Thrive, okay.
Yes.
Thrive.
Yes, in dynamic and challenging environment.
Right. It's not any environment, in dynamic and challenging environment.
Yes, dynamic and challenging environment. Yes.
Look at the keywords now. Cope.
Yes.
How they cope. The coping may be different from other sectors, right?
Yes.
Adapt and thrive. Dynamic and challenging. Hotel industry is very dynamic. Is it challenging?
Yes. We talk. I will use the environment like COVID-19 pandemic.
Right.
Yes.
So that's where we look for challenges they face. In terms of what? In terms of coping, adapting, thriving in a dynamic situation, dynamic challenging situation. You're talking about COVID situation, right?
Yes.
COVID situation. So now, you know, specifically what you're looking for. Otherwise, things are very vague to the end.
Yes.
How the individual cope, adapt, and thrive. Thrive in what is not any ordinary environment during this COVID pandemic. So now, what's the title going to be? Employee resilience.
Yes. In hotel industry during COVID-19.
Right. Employee resilience or resilience of the hotel employees.
Yes.
Resilience of the hotel employees during COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
Now, you can talk about the COVID-19 itself, right?
Yes.
You can talk 2 paragraphs, COVID-19 itself. And hotel industry, you talk about another 2 paragraphs. And this is where the introduction, your chapter 1 comes in.
Yes, sir.
Why this dynamic and challenging hotel industry? Right? As it is, competition is there. Now this comes in, right? Less customers, but they themselves, when customers come in, don't know whether they bring the virus or not. So they cope, adapt, and thrive in this kind of environment. Now your chapter 1 become very full-blown kind of thing. So without the keywords, that's how you develop your chapter 1.
Excuse me, Professor.
Sure.
I want to ask about my topic.
Okay, what's your
It's about-
topic?
Because
Yeah.
I have some problems in identifying the area of interest and
Okay.
population.
What are you doing PhD in which area?
My topic is about role of fintech in improving SME performance.
SME, your interest is SME performance. Is that right? Your interest is SME performance.
Yes, role of fintech in
Roll up.
role of fintech in improving SME performance.
Fintech, is it?
Yeah.
Spell it.
Sorry.
Spell it.
Oh, fintech. FINTE.
Finance technology.
CH.
Okay, I put some X out there. All right. Some technology. Some technology, right?
Yeah.
Technology in performance. Which population?
In Indonesia,
Indonesia?
Jakarta.
Which particular target? Are you talking about any employees or any target employees?
SME
Oh,
owner.
sorry, SME. SME.
Oh.
Right. Again, I didn't get a spelling correct. Say it again.
Fintech. FINTECH. Yes.
Right. So interest is this technology, right?
Yes.
How this technology will help SME, right?
Yes.
All right. Can you give me a definition? What is the fintech technology?
It is the combination of finance and technology.
Combination of finance and technology. Is that right?
Yes.
The fintech, finance and technology. That's the technology here. How this is going to help SMEs in Indon, right?
Yes.
Right. First, what is SME?
It's small and medium enterprises.
Right. Can you write 2 paragraphs on this? Can you write 2 paragraphs on SMEs?
Okay.
Right. What's the role of SME? Role of SME. First, what is SME? What is SME? Next, what's the role of SME? Is it important, SME?
Yes.
What is SME definition? What's the role of SME? Why is it important in the economy of the country? So talk about SME first. These SMEs in Indonesia, are they doing well?
Yes, with the help of fintech.
Now, currently, are they doing very well? Generally, what's the current state of SMEs in Indonesia? Are they facing many problems, challenges?
Yes, in terms of financial gap.
Financial gap. Do you think this will help?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to talk about this particular technology, how it's going to help the challenges faced by the SMEs, right?
Yes.
In Indonesia. You get it?
Yes.
So you talk about SME first. What is SME? What's the role of SME? Why is it important? In current state of the SMEs in Indonesia, how are they doing? Now, are they all using this technology, fintech technology?
Not all.
Not all. So next we talk about fintech technology. This technology is new?
Quite new when
new.
compared to other technology.
All right. So you talk about first, right, fintech technology. Right. So what is fintech? What's the role does it play? Why is it important? How many percent of the SMEs using fintech now? Roughly how many percent are using fintech? Any idea? Who's asking?
No.
Any idea?
No, no, Prof.
So that's a gap, right? Is that gap you're looking at? First, you talk about SME, then you talk about fintech, what's capable of doing. Now they're telling the usage of fintech among these is not as expected. The fintech technology in SMEs in other countries, is it very wide? Fintech in other countries?
Yes.
Right. Indonesia, is it low?
It's increasing.
Increasing, but not as expected? Is it okay, satisfactory, or not as expected? They can do better.
Sorry?
No, are they doing okay with the fintech, or they're not as expected?
Oh, it's as expected, but it ranges between different products of fintech.
Product, right? Why?
Because of the awareness of the
awareness. Okay. So talk about the why is not. One is awareness, right? Awareness. Some of what? Is it usable? Usability? Is it friendly?
Yes.
All right. Is it consumer friendly? So all these reasons. Now you're talking SME. They do this. They do even better. But Indonesia is not as expected, particularly certain industries. We're going to find out why. Is it awareness? Is it the usability? Or is it availability? Whatever it is. Correct?
Yeah.
Awareness on fintech, usability of fintechs, availability of fintechs, whatever it is. So you develop your chapter 1.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So what will your title be?
The title, role of
fintech technology in SME, Indonesian SMEs, right?
Yeah.
Based in Indonesia. Right?
Yes.
ये बिस्किट ऐसे ही छोड़ दिया, सिल जाएगा ये.
Oh, I don't want biscuit. Okay. Anyone else? This very
ध्यान से ओपन करना, अगर रिटर्न करना होगा तो हो जाएगा. ऐसा मुझे लगता है.
Please, when you want to talk to someone, please mute, okay?
Ankita, please mute.
All right. Okay. So anything can be done, isn't it? Here talk about the industry. Here talk about depression. Here talk about the SMEs. And someone talk about employees. The method is the same, right? The framework is the same, isn't it? The content may be different, that's all. This content may be different.
Yeah.
Questions? All right. Let's come to depression. It's not my area for this particular class. I'm using area of interest as. All right. So back to this again. Area of interest or depression. First, where does this impression come from? Where does this inspiration come from? Who are doing airline passengers just now?
Yeah, Prof. Sunita. This is Sunita. Yeah.
Sunita, where this inspiration came from?
I like the psychology behind how people make the decision, and especially when interacting with robots, AI, artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Like I'm very skeptical about. I'm more on a Generation X from Gen X. So the way I react with chatbots are completely different from others. So that enticed me to look at this further. And I think AI is the future, as well as chatbots. A lot of companies are deploying it. So that prompted me to do further research.
So at least partly you go into the background of the study, right?
Sorry?
Whatever we talk about just now can go to the background of the study, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Right. Why the study was important, your personal experience, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about different generations using the same services.
Yes.
Right? So plus some citations like a reference, wherever reference comes in. That become area. Okay, this area is relevant, is important. Right? Employee resilience, where this came from.
Yeah, yes, sir. For my interest of topic is come from the unhappy with a change of the environment based on COVID-19.
Yeah, change.
Yes, change.
Right? All the world okay, but now there's a COVID environment. There's a change. You want to know what's happening?
Yes, the employees being laid off or put in temporary leave during COVID-19. So their salary being cut down and they face a lot of challenges and problems.
Right. So you write this in a chapter 1. This can go into writing, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
About COVID, auto industry, resilience, all things go into chapter 1. But this COVID pandemic, let's say after 1 year, go away. Why is that important? Let's say after 1 year, no more COVID. What's the point of the study?
Yes, I believe for the organization to prepare the employees to cope or adapt with challenges when they face in the future.
Right.
From this experience.
Correct. In future, there's no assurance this won't happen. Similar pandemic won't happen in the future. At least they are prepared.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Same like our institutions, teaching and learning, all the while face to face, they never prepare for this. Now suddenly all online learning, can't cross countries, boundaries, they are forced to do it. Right?
Yes.
So this is for preparedness. That's why it's important. Are we prepared for future pandemics? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's how you develop your chapter 1. So in my case now, our example, depression. Just now I said depression defined as feeling, thinking, and acting. So what questions, if at all, should go into the questionnaire? What are symptoms? Feeling. Feeling what? Just now I say feel. Right? Feel. How they affect their feeling? Feel what? Feeling sad or having depressed mood. Interest, change appetite, trouble sleeping, energy, all these things come in. Right? These are symptoms. Where do you get this? Where do you get this? Just go there, Google, put there symptoms of depression, all this will come in. But in your PhD thesis, read one from Google. You must get it from some source, some previous published publications or textbooks. But roughly to start with chapter 1, what do depressed people feel? You know, they put everything. They may feel things like this. Based on 5 articles, you'll have this already. Right? Same thing, whatever individually talk about. Somebody talk about resilience, how they cope, adapt, thrive, right, in environment. Okay? All this have a feel of what is that you'll be measuring later. Feeling, how to measure this? Is it quantitative or qualitative? This part, is it quantitative or qualitative assessment?
Qualitative.
Qualitative. How to make it quantitative? On a scale of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Likert scale.
Likert scale. Now that becomes quantitative. Basically, it's qualitative. But once I put how you feel on a scale of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 means 1 means not at all, 5 means all the time, then you know the level of feeling sadness or depressive mood. But quantitative, I don't ask, why do you feel like that? If I do qualitative study, I can ask, do you feel like this? And then why? That'll be in depth. There's only difference. Same question, but here asking, why do you feel like that? But quantitative, you're not going to ask why, it's not in depth. You just ask this. Even these items alone, how many items are there? About 10 items. If I prepare a questionnaire, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Based on this, I can assess, right? Isn't it? How many items are here? Nine items. If I scale it all the item 1 to 5, 5 means all the time, 1 is not at all. Can I score the depression? Can I score the level of depression?
Yes, you can, yes.
The person answering all 4, 5, 4, 5, we know the person is highly depressed, isn't it? Another person answering 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, then you know he's not so depressed. You know, 1 means, let's say, not at all. Okay. Okay, 1 is not at all, 5 is all the time, always. Right. There are 9 questions. The guy answers all 4, 5, 4, 5 of the 9 questions. I know the guy is heavily depressed. The guy answers 1, 2, 1, 2 for all the 9 questions. The guy is not so depressed. Right? Some questionnaire can be very, very disease specific. This questionnaire, is it disease specific? This questionnaire, is it meant for dialysis patients or general? This question, general. But some can be very specific questionnaire for dialysis patients. Again, there are questionnaires. Where to find them? That's where literature comes in. Literature will come in and give you what questions to ask. This one, I just telling you what are possible symptoms. All right. Questions? So what are you doing here? We took a paper, pencil, write a circle, write the area of interest. Make sure it is really of your interest. And define it according to some well-known sources. And then put a box and a population. Now I'm talking about this in this population. So what is this? Is defined. That's dialysis patient. You would define it. What's dialysis patients? Connecting these two, that is your focus of your study. And your title evolve from there. Of course, title can evolve until the day you submit. So basically, you know what you are connecting. Depression and hemodialysis. Okay? All right. Questions? Any questions? All right, preliminary data gathering. Now you're moving to box number 2. We thought diabetic patients will be very depressed because they're not able to enjoy their life as others do. Is it really true or not? Okay, preliminary data gathering. So what do? You can do 3 things: observe, interview, and preliminary readings. So in my example, observe who? Observe the patients, right? Interview the caregivers, staff, patient, everybody. Literature, read articles or reports, right? So I give you one example here. It's done in 2000, published in 2016. Depression among dialysis patients attending tertiary hospitals in Kerala. Right? It's published in Journal of Nephrology and Social Work. So I know this is quite recent, about 4 years. It's not outdated kind of thing. So now back to yours, employee resilience. Observations. Whom do you observe? You observe the workers, the late hour workers, whatever it is. Interview the workers, interview the management, and literature. Read articles, recently published articles, Let's talking about hotel industry during COVID pandemic. So roughly we know this area. You thought this is very relevant, very important. And this has been supported by observations, by interviews, and also some literature. So by the time I go to about 5 literature here, 5 articles, right, recent articles on this, I know basically more or less what I'm talking about here. That's the idea of the first 5 articles. All right, we move on, problem statement. So we observe this, we thought this is what's happening in that group of people. We gather some data, observe, interview, literature, we found, yes, it's true. So now we come to problem statement. So what is the problem? Right? Okay. Problem statement, we say 4 wives and 1 husband. The what, why, where, who, and the how. Okay, let's see what these W's and H represent. The first W is what. So must define what is depression. That's why this is very important, definition. Don't give your own definition. Next, why is it important? Why that particular area is important. So these two are global. It's not specific to any place you're going to study. The what and the why. The what is employee resilience. Why is it important? This is universal. Now, where? And now it comes to hotel industry. Who in the hotel industry, whom we are talking about? Is it a management or generally anybody in there working in the hotel? Right? So these two are very specific to the area, the place you want to study. Right? Just not airline industry, right? Sunita, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, airline industry. What are you talking about?
Consumer behavior.
Consumer behavior. Right. Why is it important? Why analyzing consumer behavior is important? What are the keywords just now? How they select,
use, dispose.
Right.
Yeah.
Why this area is important? So what is consumer behavior and why? And where among the airline passengers? Who? Those using that particular, what do you call that?
Chatbots.
Chatbots. Right? So these are very specific. This is very general. So now you want to see what's the gap there. Right? So state how the study is conducted. So let's say how. It can be quantitative, it can be qualitative study. So here we decide whether you want to quantitatively or qualitatively. So once you have this in place, then formulate the research objectives or questions. Right. Research objectives. General objective, the area of interest must be in, followed by causes and consequences. In our case, the area of interest, right, determine the prevalence of the area of interest, factors associated, consequences. Now let's see an example. Determine the prevalence of depression, area of interest, among patients undergoing dialysis, and the factors associated. Specifically, we can break the sentence into several statements. Number 1, determine the prevalence of depression. You want to know what's the level of depression. Not everybody will be depressed, and the level of depression will be different. So based on this, maybe answer will come out, let's say now 40% of the patients are depressed. We'll come out with answers something like this, 40%, right? Determine the prevalence. What are the factors associated? You want to know why some depressed, some are not. So what are the factors associated? Is it age? Is it duration of disease? Is it gender? Is it education? Why some are more depressed, some are not. Next, what are the consequences of depression? Right? If these people are depressed, what will happen? If nothing will happen, then this study we don't have to do. Nothing will happen. Because of depression, the consequences can be like they're not following the routine medication. They don't go for their whatever treatments. So consequences, right? So non-conformance to a treatment, to the drugs, whatever it is, food. So all these will lead to poor outcome among the dialysis patients, even lead to suicidal ideation. So when I go into this, factors associated, I search literature. Consequences, I search literature. Even the 5 articles, even the 1 article I got, the 1 article, roughly I know, there's 1 article. This article. Okay, this article. From this article, I can identify all the 3 areas. What is the prevalence? What are the factors associated? And what are the consequences? Right? So this is what I want to know. In my area of research objective, you turn them to questions, become research questions. Is it necessary to put both? Maybe not. Either one will do. Either objective or the questions. So this specifically I want to know. Right? So I started with the area of interest, depression among dialysis patients. I thought it would be bad. I went to pulmonary data gathering, observed them, interview them, initial literature. I find there is a problem. Then state the problem down. Right? What is depression? Why is it important? Right? Who? You're talking dialysis patients. Where? In a particular hospital setting. Right? So with these 3, I already have more or less my chapter 1 done. Of course, we add some more significant study and other things. Can it be done one day? Is it possible doing chapter 1 in one day?
If doing this way, then I think yes, we can.
We can. Right? Only
Yes.
this. I'll give 1 week, right? I'll give 1 week, right? Class?
Yes, 1 week.
1 week. We are going to give a template. Just fill it up. After some time, I can't fill up anymore, then give up and do something else. So these 3 areas are very, very important. If this is not done properly, moving forward, right, it's going to be very difficult. Based on this, we know exactly what we want, especially problem statement here. We know exactly what is depression. We go and search. Some new article may come out, right? Why it's important, right? And where you're talking about these dialysis patients. Where, sorry, in Malaysia, is it? Who? The dialysis patient. Where in Malaysia also we can do the prevalence from previous studies, especially who you're talking about dialysis patients, right? And then form your objectives or research questions. First, you want to know what's the level of, we call it prevalence of depression. Is it high? Later in the discussion, if this 40%, all the other countries in the whole world, only 30%. Can I say ours high? Everywhere only 30%. Our country 40%. Right? So it looks like the dialysis patients in Malaysia are more depressed than elsewhere. That's where discussion will go in. What are factors associated? And is it gender? Is it ethnicity? Is it level of education? We pinpoint it. What are the consequences? What happened? The person is depressed. What happened to him? Right? We analyze that. Right? So you haven't gone into what area, just are telling what are the factors. How do you know which factors? That's a literature comes in. Right? Questions? Does until here, does it apply? Doesn't matter whether education, social science, health science, does it apply? In all areas of research?
Yeah.
Right? So far? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Because only talking about the first three boxes. First three boxes universal. Right? Otherwise, why do a study? No problem here. Why do a study? We see there is some problem or prospect, then you do a study. So go until here. Okay. You want to continue or stop? I will continue, okay? So you can do your homework. So done this part. Now we are moving on to
Doctor.
Yeah.
Is this class recorded?
Yeah, recorded. Yes.
Can we have the record?
Yeah, sure.
Please,
okay.
Thank you.
So now you're done this box. At least after this you stop, okay? Right. So here we are, literature. What evidence? Right? From literature. Okay. Literature review. Why is it important? Now, these are some of the points very relevant. Build on existing knowledge. You don't reinvent the wheel. Right? Shapes your research, this direction. Now you don't know where to go. It narrows down your scope. Clear idea what variables to consider. Example is now factors as social depression. What variables? Terminology. Certain terms may be specific to the area of research. Right? Like example,
Hello.
employee resilience.
Yeah, I'm Girirajan here.
Yeah. So I don't know what the employee resilience. So you define it. Right? Just now I say fintech, I don't know what fintech. Should define it.
From AMS.
Theoretical framework.
Yeah. From architecture. AMS
Helps to identify a study design, whether quantitative or qualitative. Tools we used. Here that generally we refer to the questionnaire. What questionnaire to use. Right? So these are things. Okay, where to search? Search wherever you like to search. So these are the common search engines.
You are in which?
Right? Where to search? So of course you can search anywhere, but ultimately for your academic, you need your journals.
Okay.
Right. There could be other platforms you search. All right. After getting literature, what do you look for? 11 points. Again, it's taken from Master Cigarette.
No, architecture is like actually we don't
16
have.
points.
Yeah. Diploma.
Who's talking? Can you mute?
Okay. No. Okay. Thank you.
Are you done? Okay. So now, when you read the literature, not every article read is important. This I must read critically. Research question problem statement presented clearly. I mean, telling why the study was important. Does it build directly on previous studies? I mean, there must be some literature review, information gathered from the previous studies. Does it contribute to the field? Right? Do you think the fintech contribute? Fintech? Who is doing fintech? Fintech? That's not there. Theory that guides. What theory? Right? Sometimes theory of behavior, planned behavior, whatever theory behind it. Right? Methods used in the study. Quantitative, qualitative, is it appropriate? Is it explain why they use quantitative or qualitative? Sampling procedure, how did they take the sample? Later we'll do this. Research design, the questionnaire used, is it appropriate? Did they develop the one instrument within 1 week? Or did they use some validated instrument? That's very important. Variables, what variables? Are they valid? Are they reliable? Quantitative, what technique was used? Is it appropriate? Conclusion is very important. The conclusions, are they based on the findings? We read some studies, finding something else, conclusion something else. And finally, limitations. All studies have limitations. They didn't state the limitation, then study is useless. Normally what I do is, we give a point 1 or 0. 1 means they have, 0 means they don't have. Is the problem statement clearly stated? Yes means I'll give 1. No means I'll give 0. So by reading all this now, when this whatever you're looking about is there, I give a 1 point. Otherwise 0. So maximum point will be 11. So article that scores 11 points are good articles, relevant. Articles that score close to 0, that means that's a very poor article. All right? Even most of it.
So this is how we evaluate the article that we choose.
Article, yes. Even most of it, we can get it from the abstract. Most of it.
So, doctor, in each article, we need to point out the problem statement, the theory.
Read whether they stated it or not. They stated either research question or problem statement. That means they're telling why the study was important. Without this, they're not telling why the study was important. Is that right? When they state this problem statement, so what is the problem? What is the gap? Right? Later we'll do this more on this problem statement.
So, doctor, can you give us a quick advice how to read an article?
Yeah, this as a read article, we look at these areas. Whether they have all these areas or not, right? Of course, most of the time, bill and literature will be there. But importantly, does it contribute to the field? Whatever findings, does it contribute to the field? It does not, why you want to waste your time? Whatever method they already told, whatever the method discussed, when you read it does not contribute to the field, then why do it? On it?
What I mean, doctor, if I find a relevant article, I need to put it under microscope and see the contribution, the finding, the result, everything. But I don't need to read all the articles that I have in deep details.
Yes. Even most of it in the abstract of the article, we can see more or less, right? Not everything, more or less we know.
Yeah.
Right? And you see the methodology, most of it is methodology. Methodology section is not very long, right? The methodology, you can see whether they are solid methodology or not. And conclusion. So most of the time, I just read the methodology and the conclusions. Right? The methodology is weak, it's not as appropriate, then the study results are not valid. So methodology is weak, study results are not valid. Right? Most of the time methodology is only about, about 1 page, less than a page. They stated how they went about doing it.
The question, doctor, as a paper scholar, how do you evaluate that this methodology is weak or strong?
Right. We will see as we go on, okay? But generally, as far as look into, right? Later, we'll see articles. Later, we'll see in the respective area. We'll do some examples later. Is it okay?
Or we choose a respectful or A plus journal, maybe.
It's not necessary. Doesn't mean all A plus journals are good, okay? Not necessarily. Right?
Okay. Okay, doctor. Thank you.
Let me see whether I have it here. For example, say, I sent you one article, right? Depression among dialysis patients. Okay, this article I sent you, right? Class?
Yeah, you did, Prof.
This article I sent you. right?
Yes, yes, doctor.
Right. Look at method and material. This was a cross-sectional study. They're telling cross-sectional. Where was it done? How the study was conducted, right? What method they use? They use data was collected, a structured and pilot tested questionnaire created by the team, right? Structured,
yes,
pilot
yes,
tested. I mean, the questionnaire instrument is good. Okay, depression was evaluated using back depression inventory. That's a valid instrument. So you must read the methodology until here. It's not very lengthy, right? From here, they're telling how they went about doing it. Not so much of all this. Anybody can try this. How they went about doing it. Two things. Whether this method is valid. Secondly, can you use the same method? Can you use the same method? That's all. Right? So read until the methodology in this section. Most of it until here. And the conclusions. With the conclusion, they put discussion. Right? Did they state the limitation? I can't see anywhere. Any limitation here. The no limitation, 1 point less. Even the point they can be very good journal. No limitation, less. It doesn't mean that the top journals are more informative, not necessary. A lot of cronies there. Right? Read article. Okay?
Okay, doctor.
All right. Okay. So now you've done this literature. Okay, now this is what is important. Power of literature review. How many supervisors will you have? How many supervisors will guide you? Two, let's say.
Two.
All right. Let's say now you have gone through 5 articles. 5 articles to start with. Each article written by average, how many authors? Each article on the average written by how many authors?
3 authors.
3 authors. Can be more, can be less. So 5 times 3? How many? 15?
15.
15.
Yes.
So the input from 15 minds. 15 people's minds, right? Isn't it? How many supervisors?
2.
2 supervisors. Now, how many supervisors do you have?
15.
15 supervisors.
It depends on their teamwork, doctor.
Doesn't matter. 15 supervisors. Are you paying for them? Are they free?
No.
Are these people free? No. And these 15 supervisors are free, right?
Yeah, yes. Free. They are free.
I call them external supervisors. So 15 supervisors in their respective area. That's why somebody asked, where do you get the help from the rest of your area? This area, 15 people. The more you go into this, let's say I go to 50 articles, how many supervisors will you have? 50 articles. How many?
150.
150 supervisors. What else you want? Right? Articles as per reason and relevant. Your supervisor may be outdated. Is a dinosaur. That's not what's happening currently. But these people are telling you this is what's happening directly. Reason, let's say from 2016 onwards. So that's relevant. Relevant in that area. So that's how you go in your research. Don't rely so much on the literature. Of course, you get
Doctor.
Yeah.
So sorry for interrupting, and sorry for my colleagues if I interrupt them. Do you recommend to have one very relevant article, then scroll down to the references and start digging or choosing their resources?
Yes, why not? Why not? Right? But sometimes I'd rather have at least 5 and then go deep inside. instead of getting one article going deep inside. Right?
Yes, yes.
Right. Because one article, whatever reference they made, could be different from another article. Of course, most articles will have some common articles references, but don't depend on one only. We go for several.
Okay.
Okay. So just to finish it up, in our literature, we found this. What we found? Factors associated: age effects, gender, education, religion, duration of disease, hospitalization, family, social support, frailty, anemia, albuminemia. So these are things most of the time people are cited. So to answer my question just now, my objective, factors associated, what factors? I don't know what factors. I'm just starting, what factors? So by literature going through this, I know the factors I will go through, oh, maybe these are factors, and support from the literature. Maybe younger person may be more depressed, maybe males more, lower education may be more, those religious people may be less, we don't know. So these are things obtained from literature. Are you okay? Okay, let's see the literature. One of them, right? Okay, the literature we have. Okay. Look at the factors, some of the factors, not all. Age is there. Gender. Okay. Age, yes. Gender, socioeconomic status, education, family type, dialysis duration, whether insurance or not, whether they're hospitalized from this article. Some other factors from another article. Family support, social support, right? Another article. Another article, priority, these are all your lipids, right? Blood parameters, whether this may affect. So putting all together, I don't want to go and cover the whole thing. We'll have a framework. Where's my framework? Okay. That's what I'll go through later. Framework. How things tie one to another. So these are demographic characteristics. This is support system. This is disease duration. They'll affect depression. That in turn will affect non-compliance, disease management, right? So these are the factors associated with depression. So these are the consequences of depression. This one model. This can be an alternative model, right? So which model are you going to go for? Is it a simple model like this or a complex model like this? Here talk about mediators and moderators and other things. So this works same for whether social sciences or medical sciences, similar thing will work. So these are called independent variables. These are dependent variable. These are called mediators. That's called the moderators. Right? So we have completed until you're done. Next class, we'll go more onto this. So your homework is what? What's your homework? Class, what's your homework?
Reading 5 articles and writing the chapter 1.
Yeah. No writing, the framework for chapter 1. That's all.
Prof, can you, because I think we have 4 assignments, right?
Right.
And I think assignment 1 is due in the third week or something like that, but I think it will be much sooner, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Is it possible for you? Is it, I mean, will we be, is it individual assignment or group assignments and all that?
All individual assignments.
Okay.
This is not assignment, okay? This is only homework.
Okay.
Homework, assignment are different.
Prof.
Yeah.
Sorry, just to interrupt. All the assignments will be individual?
Yes, individual.
There's no class projects or any group assignments this semester?
No.
Oh, I see. All right, sure. Thank you.
All right.
Where can we find the assignment and how do we submit the assignment?
I'll be sending you straight. I know something wrong. The time's very difficult to go in. I'll send you directly.
Thank you.
All right. Do you all have your what is that group?
No.
No.
Actually, what do you think, guys? If we have that group, will be better to communicate and sharing some useful information or something. Up to you. If someone can volunteer himself and send his number, would be great. I'm not that much.
But not everyone in different countries they can have access to WhatsApp, right? Perhaps Telegram.
Okay. Who is taking the lead?
I prefer WhatsApp. I prefer WhatsApp. WhatsApp is better.
China, can you get a WhatsApp from China?
Exactly, that's the question, right? WhatsApp in China, or some Middle Eastern states might not work.
Okay,
no, it's working.
Middle East working? What about China?
Yeah,
Can you get WhatsApp messages from China?
of course we can.
Okay. Right, let's use WhatsApp then. Somebody give the number or send a message to the person. Anybody? Okay, who's the class rep? Class rep? Somebody Malaysian? Can you nominate somebody? What about Sunita?
Yeah, so okay, Ken, sure.
Okay, Sunita is a class rep. It's a number. What's the number?
My number is 012. I will put it in the chat as well. So
Okay,
you guys can just
okay.
send me, yeah.
All right. Now I just type here, easier for them. Okay.
Yeah.
12
012-610-2501.
61
610
610
2501.
2501. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is local number. Actually, we need the international.
Sorry,
code for
60. So it's 6. Yeah, it's 60. Yeah.
Okay. So all of
60126.
Yeah.
102501.
12-610-251. Right? So
Yeah, that's
you put me in the loop as well.
Yes, sir.
I'll be sending more information there. Right?
All right, sure.
Okay.
So if you guys can, I don't know how it's going to be done, whether you're going to share your contact on the chat or you want just drop me a text. I mean, whichever is convenient, I guess. I think it's better if, sorry?
I think you can create a link. So by which it's like if you click it, everybody can join the group.
Yeah. Okay, let me just, okay, I'm not, give me a minute, yeah. Just give me a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Professor, I had a doubt.
Yeah.
Should we mail the chapter 1 to you or we'll be discussing it on Thursday?
Yeah, you do first. You do first, okay?
Okay.
Now why not? Okay, do and send me, okay? Next week, not Tuesday, Thursday.
So
Next
we
Tuesday.
have a face-to-face class on Thursday or we have...
No, this Thursday also face-to-face class, okay?
Okay.
My class, we all going to face-to-face because not enough time. All face-to-face.
Sure, Professor.
All right.
Doctor, that's the template that you were telling us, huh?
I'll send.
Okay.
Right.
Next week.
So every class.
I think the number is not correct.
Not correct.
I think.
The number
because,
works.
Yeah, check the number.
Yeah, I'm getting messages. I'm just creating. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Yeah.
Professor, it's like, can we use Edmodo? Edmodo also, it's like for assignments and all that.
Say
We'll be
again.
using it. Edmodo.
Edmodo.
Actually, Edmodo doesn't work. That didn't work with me.
Oh.
Didn't work with you, sir? Because for the research methodologies is like we were using Edmodo, right?
Yeah, but if you remember that platform doesn't work with me. I don't know why.
Kiramai, we use something which is common, right? Something all of us can use. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So today stop here. We continue.
Sorry. I think Giri Rajan, can you just tell me how that's done? Because I normally do it one by one. Is there any way I can you guide me?
Yeah. Otherwise, like I will.
Maybe you can create. Yeah, I can just.
Yeah, I will share the link.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Might work.
Prof, another thing is, just want to ask you, like the classes are Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
Instances where we are not able to attend and all that because of work, is that okay?
Yeah.
Because the recorded sessions will be posted on Times, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Can we make it on a Friday, Professor?
Friday.
Friday.
Okay. What I'll do, we do a survey and see. I'll send you a survey.
Fridays we usually have FIT meetings, so I think the schedule will overlap.
Friday, a faculty meeting.
Yeah, it's like Faculty of Innovation and Technology by Taylor's itself. So they arrange sessions on Friday, and it's nearly 2 or 3 roughly around the same time.
Saturday. What about Saturday?
I doubt anybody's going to give away their weekend.
Saturday, are you all working?
Because we have job during the week. I'm sorry, but Middle East to Friday and Saturday is off.
Friday, Saturday off. Okay. Will you all? Is that okay for you Saturday?
I prefer Friday, even it's my weekend day, but I prefer to sit and concentrate on the class. If we can vote for Friday, will be better.
I can't do Fridays, but if 24 people are now going to say which day they want and what,
yeah,
it's not going to work.
For the time being, we just keep it as it is. Any changes, we'll let you know. All right.
Okay.
All right. I don't mind working on Saturday, but it's possible for others. Okay.
So sorry, Prof. Again, so that means we're doing on
Thursday.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, right?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay. All right.
All right. Okay, we are done.
Okay.
All right. See you all Thursday, sorry.
Thank you, Professor.
All right.
Thank you.
See you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sunita.
Thank you.